abortion and physician-assisted self-termination are two of the most controversial topics in ethical and legal debates. While one deals with ending a potential life in its earliest stages, the other involves a person choosing to end their life due to terminal illness or unbearable suffering. Though they differ in their subjects, abortion involves fetuses and physician-assisted self-termination involves consenting adults. They raise overlapping ethical questions about autonomy, the value of life, and society's role in such deeply personal decisions. Dr. Jack Kevorkian, a Michigan pathologist, became infamous in the 1990s for his passionate advocacy of physician-assisted self-termination. Nicknamed Dr. Death, Kevorkian argued that patients suffering from terminal illnesses deserved the right to choose to die with dignity. Between 1990 and 1998, he assisted more than 130 people in ending their lives, often using a machine he developed called the Mercitron. Kevorkian's actions sparked national debate, challenging legal and medical norms. He argued that people with terminal illnesses should have autonomy over their end-of-life decisions, including the right to die with assistance if they so chose. However, he was repeatedly prosecuted, and in 1999, he was convicted of second-degree murder after videotaping the lethal injection of a patient and airing it on national television. Kevorkian served 8 years in prison, marking him as one of the most polarizing figures in the right-to-die movement. Abortion. Supporters argue that abortion is a matter of a woman's bodily autonomy, contending that she has the right to make choices about her own body, including whether to carry a pregnancy to term. Opponents often counter that this autonomy should be balanced against the fetus's potential life. Physician-assisted self-termination. The autonomy argument is also central to assisted self-termination, where supporters argue that individuals facing terminal conditions should have the right to decide if they want to end their suffering. This is a matter of personal dignity and control over one's life and death. Back to abortion. Abortion raises ethical questions about when life begins and the rights of an unborn fetus. Pro-choice advocates focus on the mother's rights and well-being, while pro-life advocates focus on the fetus's potential life, arguing that abortion is morally wrong as it terminates an innocent life. Now back to self-termination. Assisted self-termination confronts the ethics of ending life to alleviate suffering. Opponents argue that it violates the sanctity of life and could lead to a slippery slope where the lives of vulnerable populations are devalued. Supporters counter that the terminally ill should not be forced to suffer unnecessarily and deserve the choice to die with dignity. Abortion. In the United States, abortion rights were federally protected by Roe vs. Wade in 1973, establishing a woman's right to choose to terminate a pregnancy. However, the 2022 Dobbs vs. Jackson ruling reversed Roe, allowing states to impose their own abortion laws, creating a fragmented legal landscape where access varies greatly across states. Assisted self-termination has a much narrower legal framework. Only a few U.S. states, including Oregon, Washington, and California, allow some form of medically assisted death for terminally ill patients. Even then, the process is tightly regulated, with safeguards in place to ensure the patient's consent and terminal diagnosis. Many religious groups oppose both practices. In general, conservative religious traditions hold that life is sacred from conception to natural death, meaning both abortion and physician-assisted self-termination are morally unacceptable. Others, including some progressive religious groups, argue that compassion and respect for personal suffering justify the choice in both scenarios. Abortion. Advocates argue that accessible abortion allows women to maintain control over their lives, careers, and families, reducing poverty and improving societal well-being. Critics counter that the moral cost of widespread abortion devalues life. Physician-assisted self-termination. Similarly, supporters argue that it allows terminally ill patients to avoid needless suffering, giving them agency in their final days. Critics worry that legalizing physician-assisted self-termination may lead to pressures on the elderly, disabled, or financially burdened to end their lives prematurely. A provocative question arises. If society restricts the right to assisted self-termination, which involves consenting, autonomous adults, why is abortion, which involves a non-consenting fetus, allowed in many places? Supporters of assisted self-termination may argue that denying someone the right to end their suffering is contradictory when abortion rights are often based on the principle of bodily autonomy. The philosophical complexity lies in distinguishing between the autonomy of someone with a life to live and a potential life. Society's responsibility to protect life and uphold individual freedom sits at the heart of these debates, creating moral and legal tensions. Both abortion and assisted self-termination challenge societal norms and legal frameworks, calling for a balance between personal autonomy, ethical principles, and the collective value placed on life. Dr. Kevorkian's actions in the 1990s thrust assisted self-termination into the public consciousness, forcing society to confront its views on end-of-life choices. Similarly, the ongoing debate over abortion reflects deeply held beliefs about rights, life, and autonomy. Ultimately, these issues remind us that ethical and moral questions often defy easy answers. Both debates may continue to evolve as society's values shift, but they underscore the timeless challenge of balancing individual freedom with a commitment to the dignity of all life. Now, the best part, we want to know what you think. If abortion is in a current fight to be legalized, should assisted self-termination be as well? Is there any comparison? Or is it completely different? Let us know in the comments, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Blacklight TV. Thanks for watching.